Hey everybody, this is Mr. Mazzoro again, and I want to continue our discussion today of marine ecology by leaving behind primary production and the organisms that primary produce and parts of a marine ecosystem. And what I want to talk about now is how organisms in the marine environment interact with each other. These are known as symbiotic relationships. And we're going to talk about different symbiotic relationships and really tuss out the differences between why one relationship is considered to be one thing and a different relationship is considered to be another. So, what is a symbiotic relationship? What is symbiosis? Symbiosis is a relationship between two organisms where they live closely together. Here we have four different types of relationships going on. We have this organism, which is known as phenomena, which parasitizes this organism, a comb jelly. Basically, it climbs inside of it, lays its eggs inside of it, and as the eggs hatch, they consume the comb jelly from the inside out. Here, we have a sunfish, the largest bony fish in the ocean, and it's being cleaned by all of these little sturgeonfish. Here, we have a shark eating a seal, and here we have barnacles that are growing on a gray whale. There are different types of symbiotic relationships depending on how the organisms are living with each other. And one of those types is mutualism. That's a relationship where both organisms are benefiting. Both organisms are getting something out of living with each other. So if you look at these four relationships, the sunfish being cleaned would be a mutualistic relationship. The sunfish is getting parasites eaten off of it, and those tiny little cleaner fish are getting food. Since both those organisms are benefiting, that relationship would be considered a mutualistic relationship. The next type of relationship is commensualistic. This is where one organism benefits and the other isn't helped or harmed. Of the four relationships that we have here, the barnacles and the whale would be considered a commensualistic relationship. Those barnacles don't grow anywhere else in the ocean. They only grow on gray whales. As a result, they're getting a home of the gray whale. But the gray whale doesn't care that those barnacles are there. It doesn't really slow it down very much in the ocean. And all gray whales look like that, so none of them get nervous that they look like they have a really bad acne problem when they're in front of females or any other gray whales of the opposite sex. So barnacles growing on the whales is an example of a commensualistic relationship. Next is parasitism. This is where one organism benefits and the other is harmed. Not killed, harmed. And this is where we get this organism. This organism, again, is known as Phrenomena, and that's how you spell it for everyone that's very concerned with how the hell would I spell phenomena. So there it is, Phromima. Phrenomena is actually the inspiration for the movie monster Alien. It's a deep-sea parasite that lays its eggs inside comb jellies, inside jellyfish. When those eggs hatch, they consume the comb jelly from the inside out. Without Phrenomena, Alien would have never been made. The only difference is Phrenomena is about 3 inches big, and Alien is 9 feet tall and black and comes from a different planet. There's a lot of differences, but Phrenomena would be considered a marine parasite. Why? Because that comb jelly is being harmed by Phrenomena laying its eggs inside of it. Last is predation. Predation is where one organism consumes another. And this definition of consumes is where we run into a lot of trouble, because predation actually isn't considered to be a symbiotic relationship. If you go back to the definition of symbiosis, it's organisms living closely with each other. As a result, predation isn't a symbiotic relationship. The predatory relationship here would be the shark eating the seal. Why this isn't parasitism is because the seal is being eaten. A predator never wants its prey to stay alive. It wants to kill it as fast as possible. The reason is because the longer that prey is alive, the more tendency it can have to hurt the predator, and the more energy the predator is going to have to go through eating it, and the less net energy it's going to get as a result of consuming that prey. In terms of Phrenomena doesn't want to kill its host. It doesn't want to kill that comb jelly. If the comb jelly dies, then all its eggs are going to die. If the comb jelly dies, then Phrenomena just has to find a new host. Predators kill their prey. Parasites just feed off their host for as long as possible. That's the reason why predation is not considered parasitism. So that's it. Those are your basic symbiotic relationships and what they mean and some examples of them. We talked about the three main symbiotic relationships: mutualism, parasitism, predation. Sorry, mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. Then we also talked about predation, why it's not a symbiotic relationship, and how it's different from parasitism, because predation is where one organism is killing and eating another, whereas parasitism is where an organism is just living off another. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed it.